Hey yo, it's G back with another class guide for you, this time for Destruction Warlock. So grab your nuts, babies, and let's go. Alrighty then, welcome back. So having a look at the build and the stats and all that jazz for this beast. Outside of tier set, when you're building up, if you're building up towards tier set, stat priority is just, you know, eye level, and then with the others, you want a bit of an even balance. Mastery at the top, and then everything else quite even. So between sort of like 25-35% is a good place, as long as mastery is at the top. Other bits of gear outside of your tier set, once you've got it, I'm using Elemental Lariat for crafted neck, ring, Signet of Titanic Insight. This staff from Dawn of the Infinite is wild, if you can get a hold of it. Trinkets, I've got Gene Saw Blood, which is decent, boosts your crit damage a little bit. Cage Horror, it's a bit trash. It's good single target, not so good in AoE. There's some better options just over here to have a look at for trinkety pops. And then with your gems, basically you're just trying to keep these as balanced as possible. Mine are a bit skewed at the moment, my master is a bit high. I want a bit more crit and a bit more verse, but you know, it's a work in progress, boys. And then your enchants, avoidance on the cloak and the wrist, waking stats on chest, fierce armor kit on legs, and then Sophic on my weapon. If you're struggling with haste, you can swap that Sophic devotion for a wafting devotion if you really want. But yeah, if I had to put like a solid priority list for your gearing, I'd say mastery at the top, versatility, mastery, and then crit. Well then, next up, let's have a look at these little talenty pops. So this is how the build looks, the talent build. It's pretty standard. There's a couple of little things to be aware of and a couple of little things that you can tweak around and move around if you want. On this side over here, this week we're running Banish for the affix. Outside of that, if we don't need to be banishing crap, we can switch it back over to Demonic Fortitude for a little bit more health. On this side over here, to be aware of is Backdraft. So Conflagrate reduces the cast time of your next Incinerate, Chaos Bolt or Soulfire by 30%, which is big, especially when you consider that Chaos Bolt has got a long ass cast time. So we're only going to be casting Chaos Bolt when Backdraft and Conflagrate is up. I'm using Channel Demon Fire with Raging Demon Fire underneath. I like it. It's a good playstyle and it does decent damage. You can drop that for Explosive Potential to reduce the cooldown of Conflagrate, and then come down and take Shadow Burn as well. Does good damage at 20% less, but outside of that, it's not amazing, to be honest. Or you can pick up Improved Immolate, increases duration of Immolate by 3 seconds, and Fire and Brimstone. Incinerate now also hits all enemies near your target for 13% damage, which, you know, it's a little bit of cleave, which can be useful. But to be honest, I think this is better. Then we've got Havoc. So you place this on a secondary target, and it causes 60% of your single target damaging abilities to hit that Havoc target. So it helps with cleave, or if there's a boss with an add, it's really, really strong. But you do need to place it on that secondary target. If you're feeling lazy, like I do quite a lot, to be honest, you can switch it to Mayhem, and it'll apply Havoc for you, but only at a 35% chance. And you don't have control of where it's going to land. But it makes the playstyle just that little bit easier. But that's it. That's with the talents so far. Like I say, you can play around with these two and these two. But outside of that, there's not really much of interest. So let's move on to the skills and the rotation. Okay. So when it comes to rotating on this bad boy, hello Pat, where have you been? All you need to be aware of really is Immolate needs to be up at all times, because it does a heavy dot, but it also allows us to use Channel Demon Fire. Without Immolate, you can't Channel Demon Fire, so it needs to be up at all times. And then we've got Dimensional Rifts, which we have 3 charges of. Incinerate, which is a single target castable ability. And what these do, there are soul shard builders. And then we're going to spend soul shards with Chaos Bolt. We're only going to Chaos Bolt when Conflagrate is up. So I hit Conflagrate, and for my WeakAura, I've got a little cooldown timer, if you will, of where I can drop my Chaos Bolt. If I'm outside of that, it's going to be at full cast time, which is just too slow. So you don't want to be using it outside of that. So also, you don't want to be overcapping on shards ever. So at 3.9, I'm not going to drop another rift because that could cause me to overcap. So all I'm going to do is Conflagrate, Immolate, and then drop a Chaos Bolt to start dumping those shards off. Conflagrate's running off, so I need to top it up. Channel Demon Fire is up, so I'm just going to use it off cooldown. I need to dump some more shards. And now I've procced Ritual of Ruin, now because I've spent 10 soul shards. So what that does is it causes Chaos Bolt to not cost anything, and it reduces the cast time like all the way down. And on top of all that, it spawns a Avatar of Destruction, which is a little minion thing that comes down to beat stuff up for you. Ideally, you're still going to use it within Conflagrate, so it's like less than a second on the cast time, and also it allows you, you can use your Chaos Bolt back to back in that situation. So, I'm just going to fill up a little bit, make sure Immolate is up, getting some more shards with my rifts, and then Channel Demon Fire off cooldown, Conflagrate up, and then I just need to fill a little bit with Incinerate, drop another Chaos Bolt before that runs off, Conflagrate back up, drop my rift, and that's it. It's a lot of back and forth. Ritual of Ruins back up, so Conflagrate, and then I can do two Chaos Bolts back together. Immolate's about to fall off, Channel Demon Fire's up, I've got some more rifts back, get Conflagrate back up again, and that's it. It's just back and forth, building your shards, spending with Chaos Bolt within Conflagrate, and everything else like Channel Demon Fire, Havoc, you can just use off cooldown. If you're in a pure single target, you don't need to worry about Havoc. But if, let's say, a boss spawns an ad, you can drop Havoc over here. And when you do a single target ability, it's also going to damage that Havoc target as well, which can be quite nice for some cleave. When it comes to AoE, the only things that change are, instead of using Immolate, we're just going to use Cataclysm, which is a ground AoE. And it applies Immolate to all of those targets. So we can Channel Demon Fire on all of those little bitches. And instead of dumping our shards with Chaos Bolt, we're going to be dumping them with Rain of Fire, which is instant cast. And it does some nice AoE damage. And we only use Conflagrate to just generate shards. We're not worried about anything having a cast time in AoE, to be honest. Cataclysm back up, wait till I'm at 3 shards, and then we're going to use Channel Demon Fire, we're going to dump Rain of Fire. Ritual of Ruin also applies to Rain of Fire as well, so it has no cost, and it also spawns my purple friend. You can still dump with your rifts to generate shards, just making sure you're not overcapping like I just did then. But with your rifts in AoE, it is good to spread them around a little bit. So drop one, swap target, drop another one, swap target, and then just dump again with Rain of Fire. And that's it. It's pretty straightforward. It's a nice, easy, well, not easy, but it's a nice, easy-ish rotation and playstyle to get used to. And it's a lot of fun, and it does some insane amounts of damage when you get used to it. But I think that's it, my dudes. As always, I just want to say a big, massive thank you to everybody that's supported my little baby channel so far. It's been incredible. If you like the video, like and subscribe. If I missed anything or you want to mention anything, just drop something in the comments or jump in my Discord even, and say hello. And, you know, I'm always happy to chat about nonsense or whatever, really. I've got 3 cats as well. Everything I've talked about, I've got links in the description. I've got links to socials, links to my Twitch and all that jazz. And also, as a little bonus, I know I found this confusing as well when I was first getting into Warlock. Yes, my skills are all green. That's because I completed a quite boring but quite short quest line, which allows you to obtain some fell power. And it turns all your fire spells to green, which is quite cool. I'll drop a link in the description for that as well, so you can find out how to do that. But apart from that, dudes, I'm out of it. Thanks very much. Catch you on the next one. Peace.